This beautifully carved jade boulder originates from the Qing dynasty, which lasted from 1644 to 1911. This piece was made in the 1700s under the reign of Emperor Kangxi and depicts a mountainous landscape with 3 Taoist gods being worshipped. It is made of nephrite and measures 20.5 centimeters high. Listen on as we unravel the intimate connections this object has with Taoism, jade, and art. The Qing dynasty, known as the Age of Prosperity, is considered to have produced some of the most splendid jade pieces. The flourishing of carvings was led by emperors, beginning with Kangxi.
Kangxi and his successors became great patrons of the arts, as they recognized the intellectual, spiritual, and material strength of the people. Emperor Kangxi increased China's prosperity by opening ports for trade, and the conquest of East Turkestan further gave imperial courts access to Khotan nephrite mines. As such, carving techniques became highly sophisticated, and ambitious pieces like this boulder were accomplished. So how did this piece arrive at the Oriental Museum in the first place? The donor, Sir Charles Harding, was a prolific jade collector and purchased this piece in 1935 London for £15. This sum equates to £700 today, a significant sum for someone known to be frugal and tight-fisted, which indicates the exceptional value of this piece.
Highly revered by the Chinese, jade ranks above all materials, even gold. Jade is beautiful and sonorous, with subtle and translucent colors, and yet is harder than steel. Such qualities promoted spiritual dimensions and attracted Taoist contemplation. Tao can roughly be translated into the way, which explores the nature of the cosmos and the path to enlightenment, resulting in longevity and immortality. According to Taoism, the natural world is a complex arrangement of elements that are continuously changing and interacting, where a man is advised to follow nature's rhythms. Since mountains were considered dwellings of immortals, jade extracted from rocks and mountains were associated with immortality and the Taoist paradise. During the Qing dynasty, jade carvings closely related to traditional painting, drawing from similar subject matters and styles. These scroll paintings reveal fascinating parallels. Craftsmen treated jade as if it were porcelain or paper, translating popular images into 3-dimensional carvings. The perspective created by unfolding layers of hills can be seen in the Jade Boulder through carved bands of rock and layered terrains. The irregularly shaped contours, like that of the Jade Boulder, increases a sense of naturalism. In both the painting and the boulder, a twisting pathway immersively leads the viewer's eye to a temple. Blocky, inky outlines of rocks in paintings are mimicked by deep, angular carvings into jade. Detailed patterns of brushwork on paper translate into shallow marks scored against the jade. While carvers cannot manipulate the tonalities like painters can, they can still take advantage of surface discoloration. Here, the carver manipulated brown colorations to form the edges of rocks or trees. Subject to little foreign influences, jade carvings have stayed remarkably true to traditional themes like the boulder's Taoist iconography. Let's take a closer look. These 3 figures are referred to as the 3 star gods, San Xing. They are called Fu, the god of fortune, Lu, the god of status, and Shou, the god of longevity.
Fu Xing refers to the auspicious star Jupiter and is associated with the Taoist myth of Yang Cheng, a governor during Tang Dynasty who risked his life by writing to the emperor to stop cruelly and forcefully taking in dwarf slaves as court jesters. Yang Cheng is thus seen as protector of good fortune and happiness. He is generally depicted in scholar's dress, holding a scroll or a child. Lu Xing refers to the Ursa Majoris and alludes to salary and social status. Lu was considered to dictate success in imperial examinations and thus career success in the bureaucracy. He is usually depicted in the dress of a mandarin, holding a scepter. Shou Xing refers to longevity. Legend has it he was carried in his mother's womb for 10 years and was already an old man when delivered. He is recognized by his high, domed forehead and the peach he carries as a symbol of immortality.
These popular star gods represented attributes of a good life and are popularly depicted in many other traditional art forms, including silks and ceramics. We now turn to the deer or stag, considered to live 2,000 years and represent immortality. Animals have been seen to provide contact with the spirit world across many dynasties. This jade deer, for example, dates back to the Song dynasty. Bamboo, plum, and pine are often pictorially combined and known as the Three Friends. Bamboo stands for longevity, plum for good luck, and pine for endurance. They are also seen to represent the complementing doctrines of Buddhism, Confucianism, and Taoism. According to Taoism, the mountain's peak connects heaven and earth, bringing together human and celestial realms. Taoist temples reinforce sacredness, and caverns and grottos are seen as gateways to the spirit world. The steps up to the mountain represent the spiritual journey that brings pilgrims and followers closer to heavens. One cannot talk about Taoist art without mentioning yin and yang, the idea of opposites combined to achieve harmony. For example, yin and yang can be conceived as female and male. Here, the boulder's kidney shape is yin, symbolic of a female vulva, and harmonized with yang, the male substance of jade and mountain. Taoist tradition reveals how spirituality transcends outward appearances.
This jade mountain was not merely for aesthetic enjoyment, but for lifting the spirit into a higher state. It is likely that it once sat as a paperweight on a scholar's desk, perhaps combined with other jade writing objects like table screens, brush rests and ink holders, and brush pots.
This miniature world allowed owners not only to show off status, but to momentarily escape daily life and become wrapped in inner and outer peace by communing with nature. Throughout Taoist history, mountains are referred to as places where one can meditate, pursue alchemy, and encounter mortals and gods. This Jade Boulder gives us a perfect window into Taoist philosophy, Chinese art forms, and everyday life during the Qing dynasty. It reflects just how deeply the love for nature penetrated into the hearts of many.